Have you ever been a fan of someone? Well, I have. There's a term, fan, an abbreviated word for those who are a fanatic about something or someone, infatuated and encapsulated. As a fan, I followed the careers of those who embraced the gridiron, those who pushed down pigskin through the rim iron, who traversed the ice on blades of thin iron, who reached the goal through the net connected to slim iron, like, look ma, no hands, whose example made me better like iron, sharpening iron. And yet, none can hold an iron. Wait. A candle to Doris Payne. I can hear you saying, who? I'll say it again, Doris Payne. She was an underdog. I like rooting for underdogs. She was one of the greatest to ever do it. With over 6 decades in the game, she was the best. You still don't know? Let me tell you a story. In the 1940s, Diamond Doris Payne, a black woman from West Virginia, overcame insurmountable odds, facing discrimination, segregation, racism, and sexism to be invited into most establishments and served where people who looked like her would never be allowed. She was breaking the rules, literally. Because on a day in 1970, along with her companion, she found herself in Monte Carlo, a coastal city for a costly penny, accosting many except for Doris Payne. See, even with all the accolades, advancement, and acclaim, there's one small thing that would stand out about her. That day, she pulled off one of the greatest heists in human history. She stepped into the diamond store, and right in front of everyone's eyes, through a sleight of hand, walked out with a $500,000 diamond in her left boot. And to this day, has been the only one throughout history to pull off such a heist. And even though Doris Payne pulled off the greatest heist most know, there is yet another. Someone who is out of this world that did it even better. And oh yeah, I'm a fan. Namely, Yeshua. I can hear you saying, does he mean? I'll say it again, Yeshua. Now he was truly the greatest to ever do it. Diamond Doris has nothing on him. With only 33 years in the game, he is the most notorious of them all. You still don't know? Let me tell you a story. Born on the margins of society in both poverty and squalor, he found himself the victim of social persecution, governmental persecution, and religious persecution, only then innocently being led to a public execution. And this individual still pulled off the greatest heist known to man. Oh yeah, and you should be a fan. Over 2,000 years ago, born in a manger was an individual who was said by many to be king, which, in turn, put him on the radar and in the sights of the current king, along with any religious leaders who was loyal to that king. So, for most of his life, he was either hidden or helping, moving toward being the hero. See, the idea was in order to conquer this coming king, you had to defeat him with a weapon that was unbeatable. And the only weapon strong enough to keep someone down so that they stay down is death. And as they roused about the foot of the cross, we see the scene of the one they figured had lost. See, after a valiant effort of heaving his chest skyward to open his lungs to pull in oxygen, using the leverage of the nails driven through his hands and feet, ignoring the excruciating pain for one more gasp of air, he proclaimed, "Father, I commit my spirit unto thee." He breathed his final breath and was eventually taken down and carried to a borrowed tomb where he would be laid to rest. And in that moment, it seemed as if once again, the grave was victorious. 3 days of death, 3 days of silence, 3 days they wept, 3 days of quiet, just long enough for the king to pull off the heist of the universe. Just at that moment, like Clooney in Ocean's 11, like Dan Aykroyd in Trading Spaces, like the magicians in Now You See Me, like holy Houdini Batman, this King of Kings and Lord of Lords did something no one has ever been able to do before. He got up from death. This king stood tall, shook off the garb of a dead man, and was clothed in heavenly attire. He stepped out from death into life. He defeated death. He stepped into the vault of the grave and walked out with its most prized possession of sin and death. They belong to him now. They belong to him now. See, a true king can only rule what is in his possession. So in order to set us free, he had to go to the grave and take charge of there too. Now, his throne is more than a government, more than a religion, more than a shackle. It's over all powers of the universe. He stepped out victorious and did so for you and for me. So when you go to the tomb, in the text or in person, let it be said, one and all, let it be said by one and all, he is not there. He is risen. Our God robbed the grave.